Hello, good evening, actors and creatives. I feel like I do a lot of these videos in the dark, walking busy streets. It's a good job that my intention isn't to create clear, perfect footage, but just to show up as I am, as I percolate session learning. So I always record these videos as like a bit of a video diary entry wherever I am after a session when the moment strikes. So you will always hear this on the day of the session. So whenever I've done the session, I do it before midnight that day, so the learnings are still fresh. And I really recommend you do this as well after a class. Keep a little video diary entry of your, rehearsal process, your class process, especially if you're a visual or audio learner. If you're a bit like me, like to stick on a video or podcast while you're doing other things to learn that way. As you can see, like I'm walking and I'm reflecting and I'm, and that's kind of the way I process. So just getting to the topic of what I wanted to talk to you about today, I've done a session with a couple of actors whose intention, they've booked a 5-session package with me, and their first day, their intention was they want to work on a scene which they picked and they want to get show reel material at the end of it. So that's how we started off, and we're in session 3 now, and the goalposts have completely shifted. So initially we had with one actor very intentional about wanting to get showreel footage to then obviously ultimately attract more of a range of parts that this actor wants to play, and the other actor just wants to learn and hopefully get something at the end of the process. So two different intentions, but we found a scene, and we found today in session 3, which was part of the scene, that this scene wasn't really fitting with them as a dynamic. And sure, we could work on the characters, we could work on tools of the characters, we could work on it for a lot longer, well beyond obviously the 5 sessions that they've booked, to really feel like we have fully got the scene and it's really coming from us and it feels authentic and honest. But the actors decided in the session, looking at themselves very honestly, that they would actually like to create and write their own piece using the experience of what they've had from the improvisations of this scene, because we look back at the end, what's the original intention? Well, to learn, to train as actors whilst working on a project. Do they have to be embedded to this scene? Do they have to do this scene? Well, no. I think sometimes our ambition as actors overrides our inner wisdom. So you could sense with one actor that when we spoke about actually creating a story that is more in line with their core beliefs, because we've been working a lot on core beliefs from the scene, connecting to our own beliefs and creating something that works for the scene. And it just started to look far more interesting when these words came uniquely from them. And of course, if we are sent a script as actors, our job is to make those writers' words look like they are our own. But if that is not the project, so the project is that, well, this essentially could be a scene, it could be written by anybody, it doesn't have to be a certain scene, then we have more freedom. And what I've been really reflecting is there's two elements that actors need to have, really. There's plan and structure, and there's also flow. There is ambition, but there's also surrender. In a way, ambition gets us into the class. It gets us in, whether it's ambition, I want to kind of get better at my craft, I want to delve deeper, or I want to create a piece, I want to get an agent. It gets us in the room, it gets us started. But then once we're in the room, we have to surrender to what is in front of us, what's naturally emerging in ourselves. And it was really wonderful today that both actors, even though there's one actor that is more led by ambition, and the other actor is more led by surrendering to whatever evolves in the session. So we've got two actors coming from different perspectives, but they are, in a way, the right partnership for one another, because they're both teaching each other something, a different side, a different element. And also, in a way, we have to have a plan, otherwise we're flying by the seat of our pants, not really knowing what's happening session to session, moment to moment, especially in this case because it's a project that they're almost designing themselves. But also, we cannot be, when we're in the doing, when we're acting, we cannot be planning while we're doing. We have to set up the plan and then let go so we can flow as actors. And it's when you see actors in complete flow that it's very captivating and inspiring to watch. When you see actors holding back and thinking through, it makes us think as well as an audience. When I say we and us, I mean as an audience member. So make sure in your acting, have a look. How much are you planning for your classes, your sessions, your rehearsals, and how much when you're in the session are you letting go, and are you going with the flow of what's happening to you? Are you led more as an actor by ambition, or are you in complete surrender all the time? Yeah, it's useful that if we are one way, to try and align ourselves with the other side of what our natural tendencies are.